let's talk about Jamie's favorite topic, his favorite game of all time. It is, of course, Halo and Halo Infinite. He loves to talk about Halo Infinite, and we love to get him to talk about Halo Infinite.
Tick, 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 tick.
Exactly. But this headline really stood out to me because it is such an amazing headline that 343 Industries, the custodians of the Halo franchise, are offering Halo-themed prosthetics to children who have lost their limbs. It's a partnership with the non-profit charity Limitless, which I think is a fantastic name, Limitless Solutions.
Yeah.
And oh my God, talk about an inspiring little kind of trailer video that they put out for it as well to announce the partnership, and the fact that the work that obviously Limitless Solutions do for children and young adults who have lost their limbs through various circumstances. And oh my God, like some of the footage that they did with using like I guess their production techniques with the 3D model scans of the actual character models from the Haloverse, like Kat from Reach?
Yeah.
Spartan Reach. She had the full kind of blue and metal prosthetic arm in the game, and now they switched to one of the young women who actually had that prosthetic in real life. That was freaking awesome. The fact that, I mean, and you could see the elation on the children's faces of getting to have a Master Chief arm. Like, what an amazing initiative.
Someone is hammering on my door.
Oh,
I'm in full eye blood makeup and someone's hammering on my door. There with.
That's okay.
Absolute
Sarah,
perfect time.
cover for Jamie until he comes back.
Okay. What would Jamie say? Jamie would say, "This is great. I love Halo." No, but in all seriousness, this is genuinely super cool. I think, like one of the things that I have mentioned in previous episodes is like that gaming is like for everyone, and it's an environment where everyone should feel welcome. And this is such a lovely way of basically saying, look how cool you're going to look in this Halo gear. And I don't know, I think it would almost, I would be jealous, like, because they look super cool. It seems like a strange thing to say. I'd be jealous of like losing a limb and getting a cool Halo accessory, but in principle, like I think the idea of like getting these Halo themed prosthetics are super cool, and so that's, I don't know, it's just wholesome, isn't it? It's lovely.
Totally. And
yeah,
talk about raising awareness on a global stage for this non-profit company. Like, if you've got the might of Microsoft that are going to be putting out videos like this and raising awareness for Limitless Solutions, who is a non-profit I had never heard of. I didn't even realize it was a thing. And then they're doing partnerships like this. I mean, you can see it going beyond, obviously, just the Halo stuff. You can see other partnerships. You can imagine a Marvel partnership, and then a child gets to have like the Winter Soldier's prosthetic arm or something like that, or Iron Man's prosthetic arm, or those partnerships would be phenomenal. And of course, it's allowing more children to not have a stigma about not having like four able-bodied limbs, and I think that is just absolutely amazing. Jamie, did you scare the bejesus out of whoever was knocking at your door?
I really did. I opened the door and I said, "Can I help you?" And he just went, "Oh." So yeah, whoops. That'll teach people to come looking for me during the day. So, what were we talking about? Halo and Limitless.
Limitless and the Halo partnership.
Yeah, Limitless are awesome. I've seen bits and pieces from them before. I think there are, if it's not them, there are companies that actually do, like you were saying about Marvel-themed prosthetics and things like that, and I believe there is some licensing with them, but it's been a while since I've looked at their stuff. I don't know, much humor is taken on at the expense of the fact that I have a dodgy leg. But I did actually, for the past 10 years, I've been trying to sort of weigh up the option as to whether or not I should have the leg amputated. It was something that was offered to me. And obviously not quite the same as being a kid and being faced with that choice. But
sure,
one of the things that I sort of took into consideration was, if I do it, I'm having a cool leg. Like, I'm definitely getting a cool leg.
Yeah.
What I was going for, and I designed it myself, was a steampunk Iron Man. That was the plan,
Oh,
right? So
that'd be
so
amazing.
all
Sick.
wood and brass with actuators and little valves. Like, I started drawing it all out. Then I found out that I don't
Yes.
need to lose the leg. So, and I was
Thank goodness
slightly
for that.
disappointed
Yeah. Yeah. I
because
can see that.
they're off, because I have to have surgery now, and I'm like, well, if you're doing all that effort, just take the leg and give me my Iron Man. But I digress. So Limitless is, something that's quite the whole thing is something quite close to my heart, and being Halo particularly, like the idea that if you are faced with that sort of constant, as you said, stigma, and also that constant, like that, something that does make life very, very difficult, and you can have it be something a little bit more exciting, a little bit more related to gaming world that you love, and something, a little bit. You can be a badass. You've got Cat's arm for Reach. You're a badass. Like, that's at the end of the day, that's it. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic thing, and I'll even set aside my current, chagrin with 343 for this, because it's a brilliant thing they're doing, and I love the idea, and I do look forward to seeing what else Limitless can
Yeah.
do, and what other companies get on board with licensing.
Yeah, I love that this news came off the back of their recent accessibility showcase as well, of like the other things that Microsoft are partnering with on the software side, as well as this, which isn't it's video game adjacent rather than like directly influenced initiatives for game development. But the accessibility showcase was very much, this is what we're doing, this is the partnerships we're doing to improve accessibility features in the entire pipeline for developers, whether it is the physical stuff like the buttons, the controllers, the remappable peripherals that you can get. They obviously highlighted, Jamie, one of the UK charities that are deeply close to both of our hearts with special effect in their work. And that was just amazing to see. And then, of course, going into the actual kind of software side as well, and highlighting games and features and initiatives where developers can actually implement and have a a sounding board and ways to learn about, okay, what should we have for accessibility features in our games, and how do we implement that in a meaningful way? Because a lot of the times you see conversations about we don't necessarily have a robust bank of accessibility features because it doesn't align with the vision of the game or something like that. It would change the game or things like that. But at the end of the day, if the accessibility features are in there, you can access them or not access them. It's a ridiculous argument to say it doesn't align with our vision of the game, because that vision of the game is preventing a huge player base from accessing your game, and it's a stupid argument which needs to get thrown out.
Hmm.
And when you see games that do it, I mean, the most robust game I think I've played with accessibility features is The Last of Us Part 2, and they rolled that into The Last of Us remake as well with their accessibility features. Like, blind people can actually play this game because of the different like audio cues that they've really embellished and invested in to make it so somebody who is hard of vision or just can't typically play a normal game can actually play these games. And I would never access these things because fortunately I don't have to access these features. But the fact that a player who maybe has low contrast vision, for example, can make the whole game grayscale, and then the
Hmm.
enemies are bright red, you're like bright green. Okay, artistically, the designer were saying, like, what the friggin' hell are you doing to my game? This is not the artistic vision of this game. Yeah, but somebody who's registered as blind can now play your game, and they're getting the same experience because they can play it. And then everybody else who is fortunate enough to have no issues medically or otherwise can play it, quote unquote, as intended, like with the artistic vision intact and like the colors and the lighting and all this kind of stuff. And it's great that Microsoft they seem to be really kind of leading the way on the physical stuff. like with partnerships with Special Effect, with the adaptive controller, with initiatives like this. But then like other developers, especially Sony and Microsoft and other publishers, are really investing heavily into hiring an accessibility expert to really push these initiatives. And that's a wonderful thing to see in the industry.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think like even on the lower end of stuff, like one of the things I always look at is Fortnite, because in Fortnite you have the option. So obviously, one of the things that's great with battle royales and that sort of game is you're listening for the cues of someone being close to you. So you're sat in a room, sort of like getting your ammo together and that, and you hear someone walk past, and you think, "Oh God, I've got to, got to either make the choice, like, do I try and take them on? Do I hide? Like, what do I do?" And it's part of the fun. But I have, I've got tinnitus. I basically if it exists, apparently I have it, and it's causing me issues because I'm falling apart as an old man. But I have tinnitus, and I struggle sometimes with certain pitches. And I was finding that I had to have the game volume incredibly loud to pick up on it, but then I couldn't hear my mates who I was playing with, and it was a frustrating thing. But you can turn on visual cues for footsteps.
Yes,
and different sounds.
This is awesome.
Yeah. Now, subsequently, most of the guys I know who play it have turned them on because they're actually a lot bloody easier, and it's a good way of goofing the game. So fair enough, but it makes my life a lot easier, and it lets me play it closer to the way that other people are playing it. So, you could play Fortnite if you were particularly struggling with your hearing, or even I would imagine if you were fully without hearing, you'd still be able to play fine, because you can do. Now, you might not be experiencing it the way they thought you were going to, but you're still getting to experience it and enjoy it with your friends. So it's, I think it's a great thing. So the more accessibility, the better.